An Australian soldier has been charged with manslaughter over the deaths of 5 Afghan children and a male civilian. 2 other soldiers are also facing charges. They're in relation to a nighttime raid 18 months ago, which was designed to take out a Taliban leader. It's believed to be the first time an Australian soldier has been charged with manslaughter in a theatre of war. Stephanie Kennedy reports.
Early last year, in the dead of night, Australian commandos launched a raid on a compound. Their target was a Taliban leader. 5 children were killed and 1 suspected Taliban member. Now, after several military inquiries, 3 soldiers have been charged, 1 with manslaughter.
There's never been a manslaughter charge against a soldier in Australia that we're aware of.
The other 2 face charges of failing to comply with an order and dangerous conduct.
Our Australian Defence Force has strict rules of engagement, and I think they've got the finest tradition and the finest reputation as they go about very difficult and dangerous work.
This woman says the children who survived have been left with physical and mental scars from that night. The wife of the dead man says she was told by a translator the Australians had made a mistake. The day after the incident, the Army explained the difficulties Australian soldiers face in Afghanistan.
This is a very complex environment in which our soldiers are placed. They work very hard to avoid civilian casualties.
2 of the 3 soldiers charged say they will strenuously defend the charges and look forward to clearing their reputations. They added that the casualties were ultimately caused by the callous and reckless act of an insurgent who repeatedly fired upon them at close range. And they made the correct decision under truly awful circumstances.
The Taliban operate inside the civilian community. We're taking every measure we can to avoid civilian casualties. It's a pity that the Taliban doesn't do the same.
The 3 are still serving in the forces. 1 is in the regular army and the other 2 are with the Army Reserves.
Well, I think in this case, the soldiers concerned will either be found not guilty or the evidence given in mitigation will be such that any punishment will be nominal rather than savage.
It's not just the soldiers who've been charged that are affected. Some are concerned that soldiers serving in war zones will become more cautious and less effective if they're worried about being disciplined over operations that claim civilian lives. The trial will be held in a military court early next year. Stephanie Kennedy, ABC News, Canberra.